In calculus, there's the concept of limit, that is, approaching zero. This is where the numbers you are looking at continue to shrink towards zero, but never reach it. The number gets smaller, infinitely smaller, continuing to get closer to zero, but never landing on it. Dust becomes fractions of dust. Distances start to collapse. You endlessly and unwaveringly continue to approach zero, but you never make it. Every time you look, you find yourself closer, but still not over the edge. You will always be endlessly approaching it without reaching it. For some, this is simple mathematics. For others, this is cosmic terror. For me, this is Toho Project. You see, I grew up during the first age of memes. It may be insane for some of you to think about, but there was a time where internet memes were anything but well known. They were ideas spread around only in fringe communities, but they had lifespans of decades, not days. Well, I say I was in the first age of memes, but I was just an observer of the first age of memes. I was never engaging directly with it, mostly because those memes came from 4chan, and at that time, 4chan was a place I was too scared to go to. But man, did I watch 4chan meme compilations on YouTube. Now, throughout these meme compilations, one franchise continued to stand out above the This Is Sparta memes and the pedo bears. Don't look that up, that was a real thing. It was these anime girls firing bullets at each other. And they had such great designs, and well, most of all, they always had this really good music. This was, of course, the Toho Project franchise, which I'll just call Toho from now on, because I think everybody does. So there I was, seeing this Toho franchise, learning about it, but only from anything but the games. Heck, I didn't even know it was a game franchise. I kept trying to find the anime for it, and all I ever found was a one-episode fan anime. Now, many of these memes were imported from Japan, either to Channel, which is the original unlocalized version of the anime known as 4chan, or from Neco-Doga. And let's talk about the latter for a second here. Neco-Doga, in many ways, is Japan's YouTube, except it came before and had a much more singular culture. There's no better place to see the monoculture of Neco-Doga than in the many Neco-Doga medleys that they put out, which were literal symphonies mixing the various meme songs they either made or spread about, including the Hare Hare Yukai from Haruhi Suzumiya, the Mega Man 2 songs about beating Airman and losing your childhood innocence, the Omyoji song from Matrimele, and of course many, many Toho songs. So, I've kind of decided to use this Neco-Doga medley as a path for my life. So many things I've played and watched in recent years have me going, I know this, where do I know this from? And it always comes back to Neco-Doga memes. So as such, I decided 2026 is the year I stop approaching Toho and finally engage with it. Today is my Toho retrospective part 0. This is where I am going to simply spew all the things I know about Toho before playing the games. So while it should be said I've not played the main Toho games, I have been sent spin-offs from the franchise for reviews and played those on this channel. However, in them, I was always saying that I only have a tertiary knowledge of Toho. I also had a friend in high school who was an absolute Toho head, to the point where she actually came to school dressed as Alice Margatroyd or Marissa Kirasame quite regularly. She would explain to us stuff about the franchise, and only a little bit of it really clicked in. So let me start by going over what I think I know about the franchise before we get started. Toho is about Reimu Hakurai, a a shrine maiden of Gensokyo. So I think she's a human and kind of like a messenger who deals with the yokai, the troublemaking monsters of Gensokyo. She has a rival slash girlfriend named Marisa Kirasame, a white girl, derogatory, witch who flies on a broom and is kind of the tomboy to Reimu's girly girl. Also, I think everyone in Toho, while they look like children, are adults because I've seen so much art of them drinking. So the yokai get up to random mischief. It's a new week, there's a new problem for Reimu to deal with, so Reimu has to go and stop them. And to do this, she avoids bullet patterns, known as spell cards, fires back many bullets of her own, and when things are overwhelming, throws bombs which blow up everything on screen. And so you play the game mostly by just dodging and surviving. And while you're surviving, your bullets are also huge, take up the whole screen, and you can then fire back at them. And it's not too bad compared to bullet hells, but it is still really hard, especially to get the best endings, because I think you need to not use continues to get the best endings, which is doable, but it's very difficult. It's not like the BS bullet hells out there. It's hard, but not impossible. So some of the notable yokai include Cyrno, who's a tiny idiot baby ice fairy who thinks she's the strongest, and Sakuya, who's basically Dio, but she pads her bra. And there's a bunch of crazy big bads, like a Tengu with a whole nuclear reactor and a giant long hand thing. And there's a whole vampire family in the Scarlet Manor. There's also Patchouli, who's fat and very milky. So the game programming, the art, the music, they're all by one guy, Zune, who is, I'm pretty sure, not named after the Microsoft product, but he is friends with Toby Fox.
洞窟物語とか夢日記とかそしてもちろんズンさんの東宝プロジェクトとか
Of note, some of the songs in this franchise are, in my view, some of the most famous and important for all of gaming. Bad Apple. Very well known for its insane music video, but it got its start in one of the early Toho games. Another famous one, UN Owen Was Her, which is an extremely well-known and highly regarded masterpiece. And finally, I can't mention the music without bringing up Night of Nights, which is probably my favorite video game track of all time, and I haven't even played the games myself. So there's the mainline Toho games, which are bullet hells, except Toho 1, which we'll get there soon. I already got it working, that's the important thing. And there's also fighting game spin-offs and photography-based spin-offs. And there's also a million other spin-offs that are not with Zune. Because very famously, Zune decided to let anyone make games based on his franchise with permission, right? So he has to give permission. But when he does, you can then make a Toho game yourself. So that means we have many games from all around the world featuring characters and music from Toho. Racing games, RPGs, tower defense, gacha games, lots of gacha games, and Super Robot Wars games. Boy, I want to get to that one. So there's several memes also that have been in my mind palace forever, including Marissa stole the precious thing. Also, Cyrano's math class. And there was another one that was always stuck in my head that went like petan, petan, sura petan, boop, 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 petan. And I didn't know what that song was about. So one day I I looked it up and oh no, I should not have been singing that out loud. I should not have been singing that one out loud. Quite recently, McDonald's Japan has been doing their own Toho parodies for products at Japanese McDonald's, which is very fitting because for many people, Toho and McDonald's are forever connected thanks to Ran Ran Ru, which again is one of those things that even non-Toho fans almost all have heard of if you were online at a certain time. And there's so much more I could talk about, such as the Take It Easy heads and the entire existence of Fumos, but I feel like without the context of playing the games, I couldn't talk about them too much. So here's what I plan to do. I am planning to play every mainline Toho game. Now, this might seem crazy, but from what I hear, you really only lose out on the best endings if you use continues. So my plan is to beat it once, and then, hey, I found a lovely all endings playlist, and I can use that to see what I missed. Now, I could spend forever practicing the games over and over to get all the endings, but for the sake of videos coming out on time and wanting to play a lot of them, I will be cheating, right? This might mean possibly using a modded version that gives unlimited lives once we move on to Toho 7, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there. In general, I just want to finally experience these games to fully understand it. You know, this might mean I don't get the true experience with the games, but listen, I'm an adult. I don't have time to grind out hours for games anymore. It is what it is. So, I hope you'll join me on this journey down the rabbit hole that is the Toho Project franchise. We have a number of games to get through. Some of them I'm a little scared about, but for the most part, I think it'll be a fun time, a chill time. We'll learn about these characters. Please feel free to tell me in the comments things I get wrong, things that won't matter, tips, tricks, I don't know. You tell me. It's usually how these things seem to go. I attract an audience of experts, and I thank you very much every time for that. So, with that said, my Let's Play of Toho 1 will be coming out pretty soon. And yeah, I know that was a weird one. We'll get to that when we get there. Thank you guys, and let's bullet hell or something. I don't know. Let's Toho. What did they say?